All right, guys, we have some breaking news about PayPal and just some absolute bombshells dropped by the new CEO, Criss, that we just have to talk about. I couldn't wait, had a different video planned. Won't scrap it, we'll do it here a little bit later, but I have to get this video out to you guys, let you see exactly what it said, all the details into it. We'll break it all down right here. Just make sure you like the video if you guys like getting the truth without the hype. And if you kind of like me, I don't want to say breaking news because I don't want to turn to like a news channel, but definitely whenever things like this pop up that are rare and don't happen often, definitely kind of trying to bring it to you guys as fast as possible. So at least like the video if you like that style video, and comment down below too if you like it. And make sure you check out the pinned comment down there for my new channel where we talk about financial freedom and retiring early and everything about that. So if you want that type of information there, make sure you check out the pinned comment, subscribe over there. It's growing really, really fast, guys, and I'm loving that style content. Got some big things coming over there to that channel coming up this year, so make sure you're subscribed. Now, just before jumping into this video here, I gotta be upfront with you guys. There are some things in here that are huge positives, and there's also some negatives as well. So we'll break down both of those there. You guys know, I'm not giving you guys a bunch of hype and a bunch of, PayPal is gonna be at $200 by the end of the year or anything like that. We're gonna break down specifically the good and the bad and kind of get into all the details there so that way you have good information on PayPal stock for those of you guys out there who either own it or are looking to own it. This is, this is going to be good right here.
Joining me now in his first interview since stepping into the role as the president and CEO of PayPal is Criss. It's nice to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Good to be here.
It's good to have you. The analysts don't seem to love the stock right now. It's just the last couple of weeks. I've taken a look at a few reports. Mizuho yesterday, PayPal faces competitive pressure from A to Z, downgrade. Oppenheimer, PayPal, or persistent profitability pressure has them downgrading it. Morgan Stanley, slower than expected progress on strategic imperatives. BTIG, too much uncertainty puts us on the sidelines. I mention those because I'm curious to get your response. So what do you say to these analysts to get them to change their mind, or how do you?
Well, look, we're an important company.
I think the big thing here to remember is who freaking cares what analysts really think, but he can't say that as a CEO. I understand he has to play the game as well. But we all know, and if you don't know, analysts are basically told what to write, what to put in there. It serves a business purpose for the particular firm that they work for, and that's it. They're basically always behind. They're always just chasing momentum. That might be the best thing you could ever derive from them is where the momentum currently is. But it'll change directions, and when it changes, it's not like they called it ahead of time or anything else. They'll wait till it changes, runs up, $30, and then they'll say, oh, wow, look at this great upgrade we have coming for PayPal. Look, we just knew it was coming, whatever the case is. Ignore all that noise. But anyway, sorry, let's get back to Alex here.
Of the world's e-commerce running through PayPal. So that's why we've got 45 analysts following us. And, look, to be honest, there hasn't been a lot to celebrate over the last few years. I think innovation's been slow. The company's been growing, but hasn't been putting out real customer-backed innovation. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm so excited about it going forward. So look, I love being an underdog. I will take all of that feedback and we'll shock the world.
Yeah.
Whoa, see right there. We will shock the world. Big words there from him. Obviously, he seemed really confident when he said it there. And he gets into details here in just a second here about some of the specifics with that. But, he's basically acknowledging, yeah, PayPal hasn't performed. PayPal hasn't delivered to shareholders. And in a sense, those downgrades are warranted until they prove otherwise. I really like that approach, not whining, not saying, well, the market just has us mispriced. Some other things that you kind of see some folks kind of get defensive about it. He's basically, yeah, understand that. Makes perfect sense. We haven't delivered yet. But I think we're going to shock the world moving forward. Now, again, those are big words. Let's see if he can deliver. It's not something I'm going to, he doesn't have a track record that I can look back on and go, okay, when he says that, it's absolutely proven. Can't say that, can't go that far, but boy, he sure does look confident there about the things he has coming.
You're going to shock the world. How are you going to do that?
We've got an Innovation Day coming out on the 25th, where from the first week that I got there, this was not about trying to figure out what to go do. It is very clear what we need to do. 24 will be a transition year for us, but it'll be all about execution, and it starts with innovation. So on the 25th, we're going to come out. We have very clear customer-backed innovation that we will be rolling out for consumers, for our merchants, for Venmo, and I think it'll be a good start to this year.
So right there, he's kind of giving away the take, and this is kind of I won't call it negative, but the reality check. 2024 is a transition year for them, and it's about execution. I know we've talked about that before on this channel, but look, you're not hearing it from me. You're hearing it right there from the horse's mouth. He's telling you it's going to be a transition year, which means some things are going to go great. Some things are going to actually hurt in the short term. So just kind of cage those expectations as we start to get excited. And I'm sure somebody out there will be telling you, this means that, we get into the crazy, catalyst argument, right? To where things that add nothing to the bottom line in 5 years are away or somehow should add, $100 to the share price today. That sort of garbage is bound to start to come out as people start to get excited if they execute. But he's telling you right now, hey, 2024, expect a bumpy road as we transition. So just trying to make that very, very clear for all of us here so we kind of can cage those expectations. Get excited, but cage the expectations of what to expect.
You can tell us at this point, obviously, I don't want you to ruin the rollout, so to speak, but when you say you sort of have a very clear idea of what you have to do, and then you say innovation, any specifics you can provide?
Well, look, PayPal hasn't delivered the value proposition to its consumers or its merchants over the last few years that I think we're capable of. We have more data. We see exactly what people are purchasing around the world. So we need to make a better value proposition for consumers, put more money in their pockets. For our merchants, we have the ability to leverage AI to deliver an incredible improvement in their conversion rates. And then we have to let our small businesses and our consumers connect, leveraging AI-driven personalization.
And you believe that, for example, using the data more effectively for particularly the merchant side can bring, higher profit margins? I mean, how does this translate?
Well, look, we have over 35 million merchants that are using PayPal. When we improve their conversion rate, it improves their business, it improves our bottom line. We're kicking things off on the 25th.
I mean, you do have an awful lot of data. You ever consider just...
Sounds like he doesn't want to give anything away there at all in regards to what he has coming. I'm excited for that. Definitely, obviously, we'll watch it. But I'm also going to cage my expectations on that as well, because you can lay out the greatest thing ever on any of these various, days that companies come out with. And there's a lot of them to where I remember the excitement. I remember, running up the stock prices, hitting these hype style runs. But then when the company doesn't deliver, or vice versa, obviously when the company doesn't deliver, the stock price comes back down. But whenever I also see these type things come out, everybody gets all hyped up. And then the next day, everybody's buying after hours and stuff like that. And then the next day, the stock just craters and people can't figure out why. It's because, well, remember, catalyst has got to be something in the end that's going to add to the bottom line. And sometimes if it's, even if it's 6 months into the future, Wall Street's not interested. They want profits now, today, this quarter. What are you going to give me this quarter? What are you going to give me next quarter? That's kind of what they're thinking. So, depending upon what the trading momentum of the day is and all the other games that traders are playing, it can become very, very difficult for something that is a year or two off into the future to bring the kind of level of excitement that we get as investors to the Wall Street traders who are trading the stock there. So kind of keep that in mind. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what happens. Maybe they do kind of, break the internet per se, and come up with something that's completely outside of anything we've ever thought of. And at that stage, it does change Wall Street mind. That would be great, but it's not something I'm necessarily counting on either, regardless of how it goes, just because I know Wall Street wants to see stuff start hitting the bottom line and obviously them actually execute.
Or working with others as well to sort of pool that data in some effective way?
The data is our customers' data. It's our consumers' data and our small businesses' data. What we need to do is leverage AI to make it better for them to be able to grow their businesses. Small businesses are under a ton of pressure right now. It is hard to be a small business in good times. It's not good times right now. We can give them an advantage. Advertising costs have gone up 2x over the last few years. We need to be able to give them the opportunity to leverage the data that they have and improve their business.
Right. All right. When you speak to investors now, and it also is encapsulated to a certain extent in some of these analyst reports as well, competition comes to mind. Your lack of significant profit margin expansion and or actually lack of profit margin, Apple Pay, buy now, pay later. Do you have an answer to these? You talk about what is a still relatively dominant position, but at the same time, it seems as though you've taken on a lot of business that doesn't really have a margin associated with it.
Yeah, I think we have done too many acquisitions over the last few years, and we've been defocused. It was one of the things I noticed when I came in 100 days ago. We've got a lot of priorities. We've narrowed those down, 5 key priorities, all focused on profitable growth. And so I think you'll see us start to move away from some businesses that we may have been in and really focus our energy and our efforts on building profitable growth going forward. It's going to be a lot of
All right. So as you guys can see right there at the end, he's basically telling you we're going to cut some stuff. That was Wall Street speak for we're going to cut down on all the crap that we acquired over the past few years that's not bringing us any money. Sure, it grew customer count, and he said that in his first earnings call. He is basically hasn't deviated from that at all. what that means in the short term is there's going to be some pain as you're going to see, Wall Street freak out maybe because, oh my gosh, user growth went down, I don't know, 10% or whatever because they cut this particular product out or, whatever, all those different metrics where they were just basically trying to acquire customers at any cost. Didn't matter if they were profitable, not profitable. We just want to see that number of customers grow and they're not quality customers. They just wanted to see that grow there for a period of years, made a bunch of silly acquisitions and a lot of other things like that hindered that profit margin, that bottom line there. So he's basically telling us, hey, we're going to cut that. Again, that's another signal. There's going to be some short-term pain as they kind of work through this, and that kind of folds in perfectly with that 2024 transition year that we have. And if you notice, he didn't say anything about the competition or worried about that or anything else. I don't know. That's to me, that's always been a media narrative. It gets clicks. Oh my gosh, Apple Pay is going to crush PayPal. Well, even under the old regime, when Apple Pay hit and was I don't know, $30 billion, whatever the heck it was, PayPal had another growing quarter. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't out of this world, but they grew. So did Apple Pay really affect their business at all? I've said from the start here, I think they're taking from traditional banks, legacy banks, other things like that. They're not taking from PayPal's business. I think when you have something that is, I won't call it new, but definitely new compared to legacy banks in terms of fintech and other things like that, I think they're not taking market share from each other nearly as much as they're taking market share from big banks and other players like that. And some of the big banks actually want to get rid of the customer transaction piece of what they're doing because it's a lower margin than some of the other commercial things that they're looking at and some of the bigger projects that they're going after. So that to me is where that's coming from. It's not coming from PayPal themselves. It's coming from those larger legacy style banks, regional banks, players like that. To me, is much more where they're taking from than taking from each other. So he didn't directly say that. I'm not sure he necessarily wants to go that route at all, but he seemed pretty confident about all the plans that they laid out and everything that they have coming forward. And of course, the event on the 25th, 24th, 25th, I probably need to write that down. Can't remember what it is now. Really, really excited to see what they roll out there. And he's saying shock the world. So, hey, my guess is this won't get a lot of press because PayPal, right now the narrative is just negative. And that's just how the media and the narrative is going to be for now. But maybe he does come out there and shock the world. Maybe not. We'll wait and see. But I'm definitely excited for it. This all fits perfectly with his messaging so far. Nothing that should send the stock to the moon or anything else crazy like that. Just another solid look. And again, getting to physically see him and see how confident he is in a lot of the things that they're doing, a lot of the changes that they're making, makes me excited. But again, we got to see execution on earnings, which obviously as we get closer to earnings, I'll do an earnings preview for you guys as well. So we know exactly what we're looking for, exactly what we think we're going to see. So I'm good there. In terms of potential future, obviously use the buzzword AI and a lot of other things like that. We'll see how that actually integrates in and what they actually have planned there. And of course, some other things to kind of cage our expectations, and we'll call them negatives. I didn't necessarily consider them negative, but cutting the fat, getting rid of the junk, and moving into higher profitable things into the future there. And it's going to take the entire year 2024. So I don't expect a massive turnaround this quarter. But hey, PayPal's still cheap, so I might very well have to buy more. And if you want to see those buy alerts in real time, see my watch list complete with price targets, take 5 courses for free, use our stock analyzer tool for free, be a part of the best 6, 7, and 8 figure Discord. And we got so much more coming to the group, guys. It's just awesome. Make sure you check out the pinned comment down there and see if a membership's right for you. And click this video here if you want to see exactly what I'm buying in this market. And click here to see my exact plan for this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.